In this lesson, you'll learn about all the hardware required to operate Microsoft Streets and Trips, as well as other nice-to-have items that will enhance your productivity and comfort when navigating on the road. As a mobile sales rep, you probably already have the most important component of the required hardware items to run Microsoft Streets and Trips, your laptop computer. You'll need to be running at least Windows XP to receive spoken directions. You'll also need 1.6 gigabytes of hard disk space to install the software. And of course, you'll need a DVD drive. Now is a good time to consult your laptop's user guide to adjust power management options. You can adjust power options from the control panel. You'll want to adjust the settings to turn off your display and put your laptop to sleep when no user interaction is observed during plugged in and on battery. You want to do this because when you're using Streets and Trips to navigate, you won't want your computer to prematurely go into sleep mode. To start out, I suggest having your display shut off no sooner than 15 minutes after the last user action, and putting your computer to sleep no sooner than after 2 hours when plugged in. I set the same display turn-off threshold for battery mode and leave the sleep threshold at 1 hour. I also increase battery mode display brightness as a personal preference, then save changes. Hitting the spacebar on your laptop will repeat the last spoken instruction when in driving guidance mode, and reset the countdown clock on your power management settings, keeping your laptop up and running. Later on in the training, I'll show you how to set up your laptop so that you can easily hit your spacebar without taking your eyes off the road if you're traveling alone. The only other hardware that is absolutely required is a GPS receiver. Microsoft Streets and Trips 2008 with GPS Locator comes with an ultra-compact GPS receiver that you plug right into the USB port in your computer. I recommend purchasing Streets and Trips with the GPS receiver included. However, you can use a receiver from a third party, just make sure it's National Marine Electronics Association 2.0 compatible. You can learn more about GPS receiver requirements by typing GPS in the search box of Streets and Trips Help. Beyond the laptop and GPS receiver, there's a few more recommended or nice-to-haves that you'll want to consider for your traveling convenience. Topping the list is a DC inverter to allow you to plug in your laptop during longer trips. With a DC inverter, your laptop will adhere to your plugged-in power settings, and you can work out of your car without worrying about running out of battery power. Some models even include a connection to DC charging points on some airliners. When choosing an inverter, make sure it's properly rated for your laptop. Check your laptop's power requirement specification in the manual, and then choose a model that has a continuous power rating that exceeds your computer's requirement. A good rule of thumb is to choose one that exceeds the requirement by about 20%. For example, if your laptop uses 60 watts of power, then you should look for a power supply that provides 20% more or a minimum of 72 watts of continuous power. Make sure the supply is rated for continuous power. Some models will highlight their unit's surge capacity on the front of the package and bury continuous power supplied in the specifications on the back. Inverters will only operate at their surge capacity for a limited amount of time, and then will shut down to reset, and that's not what you want. Consider what other devices you'll want to power and charge while you're on the road, your MP3 player or your cell phone perhaps. Some inverter units incorporate additional USB sockets to power additional equipment. If you do plan to power additional devices off your inverter, add the wattage of all devices, again add at least 20%, and size the inverter accordingly. If you travel in rental cars, I suggest getting an inverter that plugs into the cigarette lighter or accessory socket with a cable. In some vehicles, space can be tight around the socket, and an inverter with a fixed plug can be difficult to insert at times. Choosing a model with a cable allows you to more easily position it in tight spaces. Finally, make sure your inverter has low battery and overload shutoff protection so you don't kill the battery if you leave your equipment running too long with the engine shut off or damage the inverter if you overload it. If you have more than one cigarette lighter plug powered device, you might consider a splitter. Although some rental cars come with a second auxiliary 12-volt power receptacle, it's not a sure thing, so the splitter is good insurance. While you can use your laptop speakers to announce upcoming directions, another nice-to-have item is an MP3 audio cable. Many new cars are now coming with an MP3 auxiliary jack in the armrest console or on the dash. You simply plug one end of the cable into the headphones jack of your laptop, and the other end into the car's auxiliary jack. Now you're playing crisp and clear directions directly over your car stereo system. The drawback to this option is that you can't listen to music or talk on the car radio. You will be able to play MP3s off your laptop and hear announced directions in the background. Additionally, you can purchase an MP3Y cable that will allow you to plug both your laptop and your MP3 player into the auxiliary port, hearing both over the car stereo. But if you're traveling in a new area and relying on GPS navigation, I highly suggest foregoing the entertainment and concentrating on the road and the outstanding turn-by-turn driving guidance you receive from Streets and Trips. There are also FM transmitter devices that you plug into your laptop and tune to an FM station on the car stereo. These might be acceptable if you stay in a relatively small geographic area, but I advise against them if you're covering any kind of territory. You run the risk of FM static as you travel into a new area that might have a stronger radio station signal playing on your designated frequency. Static is irritating, and you can be tempted to try and adjust the station while you're driving. Avoid the temptation by not using an FM transmitter. If your laptop speakers just don't cut it and your car doesn't have an MP3 auxiliary jack, consider adding an external powered speaker. Not only will they help you hear your turn-by-turn directions in the car, but they're great for adding clarity to the sound in your presentations, as well as playing movies, CDs, and streaming your hometown radio station when in your hotel room. Carry some Velcro cable ties to keep the wires on your electronic gear neat and secure. They're invaluable on the road as well as in the office. Many of you need to fly to get where you're going. Keeping all your preferred gear in an organized navigation kit is helpful for last-minute packing convenience. If your GPS receiver, power inverter, MP3 cable, and other travel gear are always in the bag, you won't find yourself sweating it when you finally get in the rental car, need to get to the meeting in a hurry, only to find you're missing a key piece of gear. A great container I use is the Deluxe Cable Stable by Scuba Design. You can pack this organizer chock full of electronic gear, nice and secure so it doesn't get banged up, and it's easily accessible. When you're traveling in a small to mid-sized car with a colleague, chances are your passenger will be calling the shots with a computer in their lap. Here's a product to help them keep their cool while on the road. The Laptop Desk Futura by Lapworks is a thin, lightweight heat protection device that stores easily in your computer bag and unfolds to create a laptop desk that keeps you and your laptop cooler. It's also great for using in the airport while waiting for your flight. The laptop desk allows you to relax your knees, minimizing shoulder, back, neck, and arm strain. And get this, it even doubles as a hotel desktop stand that you can adjust for optimum ergonomic typing and viewing angles, reducing back and shoulder strain. This is a great piece of gear on the road. Well, this is the short list for gear that's required and nice to have while you're traveling with Microsoft Streets and Trips with GPS Locator. Of course, there's a whole bunch more stuff out there to make life for the traveling sales rep more comfortable and productive. To learn more about the items you've seen here, as well as other tools for the road, check them out at our website, mypointsales.com. In this lesson, we learned about the hardware required to operate Microsoft Streets and Trips. We adjusted our laptop power management settings to ensure that the laptop does not go to sleep prematurely on the road. We also investigated some nice-to-have items that will aid us on our road trips. In the next lesson, we're going to cover acquiring the right kind of prospect list for import into your Streets and Trips software.